In today's Taiwan Insider, we have a Washington Insider.
That is right, and he'll be telling us how he thinks Joe Biden will deal with China and Taiwan. I'm Natalie Tso.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. Let's start off with the stories on our radar.
The Air Force has grounded its fleet of F-16s. That's after an F-16 went missing off Taiwan's east coast during an exercise Tuesday night. Investigators have ruled out mechanical failure and suspect the pilot may have sent the plane into an abrupt 7,000-foot drop due to spatial disorientation. Economics Minister Wang Meihua is set to meet with representatives from 7 major industries that could be hit by the recent formation of the RCEP, the world's largest free trade agreement. Wang plans to meet this Sunday with representatives from industries including steel, machinery, and textiles. The National Communications Commission has unanimously decided not to renew the license for CTI News. The commission's chair says the channel has led Taiwan's cable networks in spreading disinformation and violating rules. The decision has been controversial. While some say the station is a source of Chinese propaganda, others worry about what the station's closure means for press freedom. Starting in December, everyone coming to Taiwan, including Taiwanese citizens, will have to present a negative COVID-19 test. Authorities say that's in anticipation of a wave of new cases in the fall and winter. Also starting December 1st, masks will be required in most indoor public venues, with fines of more than $100 for non-compliance. And under the radar this week is the decision of an entire town in western Taiwan to go vegetarian for a week. Locals hope giving up meat will help a local temple's prayers for an early end to the COVID-19 pandemic win the support of the gods.
U.S.-Taiwan ties have actually improved a lot in the last 4 years of the President Trump administration in the U.S.
That's right. Taiwan is very happy about that, but now they're nervous because Joe Biden is elected. They don't know what to expect.
Now, we've actually talked with a lot of different analysts to see what they have to say about the next 4 years, but we wanted to talk to someone who is a Washington Insider, and you actually did that recently.
That's right. I spoke with a former Pentagon official who served during the Obama administration. He was a top official in charge of Asia policy, and he knows a lot of people on the Biden team. Derek Mitchell is currently the president of the National Democratic Institute, and he gave us some insight into what their team is thinking about Taiwan and China.
Well, first, thank you again for inviting me on. I don't represent the Biden administration. I can't speak for what they're going to do. I'm sure they're putting together their plans right now. But I do know the folks that are leading the effort on Asia. And I can say with confidence that they're very clear-eyed about the issue of Asia and particularly about the China challenge. I think there is not entirely a discomfort with a hardening of the attitude of the Trump administration. I mean, I think they will moderate the tone a bit and look more to work with allies.
Well, what about Taiwan? How do you think the Biden administration will deal with its relations with Taiwan?
Taiwan is a perfect example of a place that is consistent with the values of the United States and the values of a more secure and stable world. Taiwan as a beacon of democracy in Asia, as a strong society, as a net grantor of public goods, and how Taiwan has dealt with COVID, how it's not only dealt with it at home, but also helped others in exporting masks and other values. Taiwan is a success story, and I know the Biden administration recognizes that, and that the protection of what makes Taiwan great is very important. But not just as a factor, I think this is very important, not seeing it simply through the lens of China, which is a traditional way that I think even the Trump administration has done. Sees it just simply through the lens of a China challenge. Taiwan in its own right stands on its own for what it contributes to the world and the success that it is. And I think the Biden administration will recognize that and seek to find ways to showcase that and to bring Taiwan out and try to help them have greater standing and greater provision of those public goods to the international community.
So we've seen a lot of increase in support for Taiwan in the U.S. Congress and, of course, throughout the Trump administration. Do you see this continuing, the strength of the ties between U.S. and Taiwan in the Biden administration?
I do. I very much do. I think there's a bipartisan consensus on Taiwan in Congress, as you say. It runs from left to right. I mean, far left, far, I mean, all the whole gamut, because Taiwan is an obvious good. It's an obvious positive. So I think there will continue to be strong support and strong oversight of the executive. Remember, in the United States, the Congress, they were the ones that passed the Taiwan Relations Act. They have paid special attention to Taiwan for, I could say, 70 years, but certainly in the last 40 years or so. So if the administration strays a little bit, there is always Congress that will oversee and say, you know, we want to make sure that Taiwan is taken care of.
How do you see the Biden administration in the U.S.-China tech war? How do you think he's going to deal with that?
I think that's a very important component of this challenge. And there are people I know going into this administration, I expect to go into the administration, who recognize that the information war, which is part of the tech war, that the integrity of information, the importance of an open space for free expression, to be not to be subject to overweening surveillance, the kind of Orwellian state that China is developing internally in its society is being exported. And it's very important for all of us that not be the norm for the international society and also for nations individually. I think also that the value chain, the fact that microchips and things, and technologies of the future, 5G, Huawei, or the chips that Taiwan produces, and all of this is very, very critical for future security of the world. And this is an area where Taiwan has been brilliant and has enormous amount to offer. The civic tech community and what Audrey Tang and the GovZero people, the volunteers, citizens of Taiwan, frankly, you have been a model for the United States as we deal with our own problems of our elections and our democracy. What we see your citizens have done and how you think about this is inspiring, to be honest.
Derek, it is good to talk to you because, you know, after the U.S. election, people in Taiwan are a bit nervous about, you know, the incoming president. They don't know if U.S.-Taiwan ties are going to change or not. What is your take? Do you think that they'll continue to go strong or they may change in some way?
I've watched some of the commentary from Taiwan and the nervousness, and I have to say, what you notice, yeah. But look, Democrats, I find they sometimes get a bad rap about not being strong enough on certain things, and you know, so in Taiwan or in Japan, there can be or elsewhere in Asia, there's a little nervousness.
Yeah, I don't think we mean it personally. I think that there have been some high-profile Republicans have been very staunch supporters of Taiwan, so people notice that. Nothing against the Democrats, I think.
No, I know, and I don't take it personally, but I do notice it's about that. But no, I think, I feel very strongly that there's going to be a strong commitment, an equal commitment, an enhanced commitment to Asia specifically. I'm very confident that a Biden administration is going to be very strongly focused and strong generally in Asia, and be, as I said, clear-eyed about the challenge from China, as well as the desire, and I think it's good for Taiwan, there not be blind hostility between the United States and China. That doesn't help Taiwan. We shouldn't be.
That's true. Makes us nervous.
Because that can also incite China to do things because they have to pound their chest and create tensions for Taiwan. So I think what we need to do is be in very close touch with the government in Taipei, be understanding of the position, the sensitive position of Taiwan, and not do anything to make it harder on you simply because we want to pound our chest and demonstrate we're tough on China. I think we can walk and chew gum, be tough on the China challenge, be stalwart in our values and our commitments, but also recognize that our partners have interests as well, and we should be sensitive to those. And I really feel strongly that the people that will be in a Biden administration will be sensitive to that.
Now, usually we hear about Republicans talking about Taiwan, China, the United States. Derek Mitchell is actually a Democrat.
That's right.
What did you think about your interview with him?
Well, it was great to see that as a top Democrat, a high-profile former Pentagon official, that he was very positive about future U.S.-Taiwan ties under the Biden administration. And also, he's very positive about Taiwan. He was gushing about Taiwan, you know, how we handle the pandemic and how we deal with disinformation. His institute actually did a documentary, a short documentary this year that was released right after our elections about how we fought disinformation from China.
That's Taiwan fighting disinformation from China.
That's right.
I think the documentary is called A Canary in the Digital Coal Mine, right?
That's right.
So Taiwan is the canary?
That's right.
Okay. Well, we'll have a link to that and also to Natalie's full interview with Derek Mitchell in the show notes below.
In a previous episode of Taiwan Insider, Andrew Ryan broke down political leanings of Taiwan's biggest media outlets. Today, our story will focus on one of those outlets, the TV station on the far right, CTI News. CTI is on the blue end of the spectrum. That means it supports the opposition KMT, but notice it also has a red star. That's because CTI is pro-China. CTI is owned by the Wang Wang Group, which also owns the China Times newspaper. The chairman of Wang Wang is Tsai Ing-ming, a businessman who's very politically active and advocates for China-Taiwan unification. CTI was criticized during Taiwan's presidential election for giving disproportionate coverage to the KMT candidate Han Kuo-yu. Taiwan's National Communications Commission says CTI dedicated as much as 70% of its airtime to the pro-China candidate. CTI's coverage on Han Kuo-yu wasn't the only thing that NCC took issue with. In July 2019, it fined CTI $51,000 for disseminating fake news and not having proper fact-checking measures in place. In recent months, CTI has been in the spotlight because its broadcasting license is set to expire on December 11th. That meant the company needed to renew its license with the NCC. In the past, renewing a license was a matter of doing paperwork. However, for the first time ever, the NCC held a public hearing for whether or not to renew CTI's license. On Wednesday, the NCC announced that its 7 commissioners voted unanimously not to renew CTI's license. The NCC said that CTI had a poor record during its last license period. CTI was responsible for more than 30% of all the complaints it received for television channels. It went on to say that CTI infringed on the NCC's rules 25 times over the past 6 years, 23 of which resulted in fines totaling $400,000. One of the reviewers pointed out that CTI does not have the mechanisms in place to reply to viewer complaints. Furthermore, CTI has been fined multiple times for the same offenses, meaning their internal review system is lacking. I think it's important to mention President Tsai Ing-wen's administration advocates Taiwanese sovereignty, so they're at odds with CTI. Many speculate that the NCC's decision to shut down CTI was political revenge. Immediately following the announcement, CTI News posted this to its Facebook page. It says, "The Tsai administration has shut down CTI News. Freedom of press is dead." Rick Lin responded to that thread with, "No need to worry that CTI is gone. We still have ET News and TVBS." If you're confused about that, then just go back to Andrew Ryan's chart. But some responses to Lin's comments say that both of those channels have switched allegiances. The KMT also responded on Facebook. It called on the NCC to give concrete reasons why it didn't renew the license for CTI News. It went on to say that the party is worried that CTI's closure is a slippery slope that will threaten freedom of press. The DPP said on Facebook that it will respect the decision of the NCC and emphasized that the commission is an independent government entity. The pro-independence Taiwan State Building Party posted this picture. Judging from the confetti, I'm sure you can tell how they feel about the issue. The NCC's announcement pretty much shuts down the station. But if we go back to Andrew Ryan's chart, we see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 other major news outlets in Taiwan. But let's be real, you only need one. Because that's where I am.
Today's brain game is called Name That Sound. Now, Natalie and Leslie, as you know, I love to use my little recorder to collect interesting sounds from throughout Taiwan, and I use them to create radio shows. Right. So, in today's brain game, we're going to have you guess 5 different sounds.
From Taiwan?
Yes, these are sounds from Taiwan.
Cool.
And they are all transportation related.
Oh, how fun.
So on buzzer number 1, we have Natalie Tso. Buzzer number 2, we have Leslie Liao. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 5 sounds. Whoever guesses the most sounds will, I guess, be crowned the king or queen of transportation.
The king of noise.
Exciting.
All right, let's have a listen to our first sound. All right, right, Leslie, you got that first?
MRT's doors closing.
That is correct. That is the sound of the doors closing on the MRT to let you know the doors are closing.
I run after subway trains a lot, so I know that now.
All right, and here is actually the full sound. We can hear the full sound of the doors closing. There's an initial warning.
Did you ever step in during that sound?
I can't say because you're not supposed to barge in after, so.
I don't know if you heard the little kid in the background
Yeah.
imitating it. That's
me, actually. That was actually me. That wasn't a little kid.
No, that's a good touch.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
when I
nice
first
touch.
recorded, I was really upset because I thought he ruined the sound, but it actually adds to the sound. It
Sure.
really makes it quite cute.
Okay.
All right, sound number 2. You ready?
Is that your electric scooter?
That is my electric scooter. That's right.
Oh, I've never heard that before. That's cool.
That's the sound of a Gogoro.
That is so cool.
So it's got a lot of beeps on there.
Your Gogoro is a Gogoro 3, right?
Yes.
Because they need to add it in that sound because Gogoros used to be too quiet and pedestrians couldn't hear them.
My understanding is that actually all Gogoros were too quiet, so they actually had to record the sound of the engine and then increase it by 10 times as much.
Wow.
There you go.
All right,
That's pretty
here's
cool.
sound number 3. Y'all ready? Yes.
Ambient noise on a bus.
No.
No.
Train?
No. Want to hear again?
Yeah.
Sure.
Listen carefully. At one point you'll hear people screaming.
Woo! Are you on an airplane going to Penghu?
No.
Malcolm Gondola?
No! You guys aren't getting this. I'll tell you what it is. This is the ferry going from Danshui to Bali.
Oh.
And if you listen really carefully, you can
It's
hear a
been a while.
splash sound, and then you can hear people going,
Oh,
woo!
gosh.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right, 2 more shots.
Oh,
Taipei Main Station announcements.
Sorry, say it again.
Taipei Main Station announcements?
No.
train announcements.
It is train announcements, but where is it? It's not
It's-
Taipei, Maine.
It's on a Hualien train going to Hualien.
Nope. It's going to Hualien, but it's not. Where is this?
It's not on the train?
Yes.
Is that Taidong?
That's right. That is the Taidong train station,
Oh.
and that's actually the Amis language.
Oh.
Oh,
It's
cool.
one of the few places in the world where you can hear an indigenous Taiwanese language being broadcast over the intercom.
that's-
I thought it was
Cool.
Japanese at first.
A lot
Yeah,
of people think
I
it's
thought
Japanese.
it was Japanese.
That is
All right,
really
all
nice.
right. Final sound. Leslie?
That's the bus on the way to work.
Yes, it is. Fantastic job. So those are all sounds of different forms of transportation. I'm sorry, Natalie, this time it wasn't your day.
I guess not.
But apparently you're a big transportation rider,
I
Leslie.
think it's just noise. I bask in the noise. I absorb
You
the
pay
noise. I
attention.
know about the noise.
All right, well, the reason why I wanted to do this week is because I'm unofficially calling this Infrastructure Week. We had 2 different metro systems which unveiled new lines this week. One is the Danshui line, the light rail line, but I now want to show you a video of the brand new metro system in Taichung in central Taiwan, which you can ride for free for the next month. Have a look.
A train enters a station on the Green Line of Taichung's brand new MRT system. It's day 1 of a month-long trial period in which passengers can ride for free. Nearly 5,000 passengers took a ride on the new system in the first 2 hours it was open. One student says that the MRT makes her trip to school 10 minutes faster than the bus. This mom says the new system will make life easier to get around with her kids. This passenger made a special trip from New Taipei City to Taichung just to go for a ride on the new metro. But first-time riders will want to take heed of the beeping sound. That's a signal that the doors are about to close. For now, there's just one line on the Taichung MRT, but it stretches more than 16 kilometers, has 18 stops, and connects the city to the high-speed rail line. Free rides will last between now and December 15th.
And finally, our question of the day. What is your favorite mode of transportation in Taiwan? Leslie.
Andrew, most reliable transportation system in Taiwan, Ma legs. Been using them for 30 years.
Really good.
Get you to A to B, reliable.
Very good.
Taipei is a walkable city. I mean, that's one of the best. I really like boats.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
You don't get boat sick.
No, I think they're fun, and we have a little boat we go on sometimes, sailboat. Very nice.
Excellent. You ready for mine?
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
The number 11 bus.
So specific.
Goes to your home?
Well, actually, no. In Chinese, we say 11号公车, so it's the same as 11. Walking on two legs, right?
You're
the number
more
11.
poetic. Look at that.
Yeah. So there you have it, our favorite modes of transportation. We want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Taiwan Insider. Be sure to connect with us on all the social media, including Twitter at Taiwan Insider.
That's right. And if you like our show, subscribe and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. For Taiwan Insider, I am Natalie Tso.
I'm Leslie Liao.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. Have a great week.